Welcome to CPG Vibes. No scripts,
just chat.
I'm Alex Baer.
And I'm Wade Yenny.
Each episode is recorded live, and we talk all things food and beverage, and so much more.
Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review.
If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com.
Now, let's vibe.
All right, welcome to episode 158 of CPG Vibes. Hope everyone is doing well out there. This is our Random Babble Series. We ran out of ideas, so this is what we're doing, right? I'm telling the complete truth. We ran out of ideas. We're trying this on for size. We'll see if people like it, and it's our first edition. But before going into all the formalities, Wade, how's it going?
Good. You're implying that there might be more than one, but
maybe.
I would just say that in the old days, in the early episodes, we didn't have random topics anyway. So we just came on and did what we're doing today. So we got this. We got this.
Yeah. I mean, it's, if, Joe Rogan can do it for 3 hours where there's no topics and just has a guest, I think we can do it for 1 hour. We'll see. And, just who the hell knows? We're pulling out all the stops. So if someone is in the audience and we're like, hey, let's bring that person on the show, send them a StreamYard link, we'll get you on like the old school days.
I like that. I
like that. Unpredictable. That is the motto of our show. Unpredictable, funny, quirky, and sometimes educational. Sometimes. Yeah, very rarely. So welcome to our show. Going to go through a list of laundry list items. I got over a cold, but then I lost my voice. I didn't even know if I could do this show, which is ironic because it's random babble, right? And I can't even babble. But my voice came back pretty strong this morning. I got my lemon and honey tea right here. So I'm getting my voice back. So it's good stuff. All right. So we are the #1 rated CPG podcast in the world. Keep it that way. Please, please, please go on Apple Podcast or Spotify and give us 5 stars. That would mean the world to us. It takes literally 5 seconds. For the time it takes for you to check a TikTok video of a monkey on a tricycle, you could be giving us 5 stars on Apple Podcast. Is that random? That's pretty random.
I watched the extended monkey on the tricycle, so mine wasn't 5 seconds, but yeah.
Don't tell me you watched like the whole 5-10 minute.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Where he's going round and round with a little tassel on his head and all that. Hey, I know too much about monkeys on TikTok. So with all that said, we are #1 rated. So make sure to give us 5 stars. We also have the CPG Vibes Newswire, which we were kind of out of commission for about a week and a half, but we had our big news update for March 19th, talking about the poppy sale, talking about Mark Snacks, where if Mark Samuel shows up on the show, like on the comments, I swear I'm going to bring him on just to sit like for 5 minutes, just to talk to us about what his plans are and what he's doing with his brand, is randomly. And what else? We have our Backwell sponsors, which is Feel Free, Melting Forest, and Dreammakers. And Dreammakers is an accelerator with Jeff Church. So make sure to check that out. Google Dreammakers, Jeff Church, or find him on LinkedIn. We do have a very big announcement as far as and we have 2 sponsors right now. We're going back to the 2. We have our ongoing sponsor, which is brand new. And we also have our weekly sponsor, which is Powerful Energy Distribution. I'm going to talk about him first. So Powerful Energy Distribution, they distribute products into Canada. Robert Cogan is your man, but he is appointing a sponsor, Darwin Fulfillment, darwinfulfillment.com. That's DARWYNN. Good luck Googling that, Wade, while I'm talking about them, spelling it, let alone spelling it, and then finding them. But darwinfulfillment.com, help businesses scale and compete with the big guys to get access to high volume shipping rates when using our warehouses. So this is a client that works with Powerful Energy, and Robert's designating them as the sponsor. They have the best delivery experience. They own the customer relationship, 8 strategically positioned locations across Canada. So if you're looking to distribute in Canada, they have warehouses, and they also have 6 fulfillment centers in the U.S., primed to transform the market. So good stuff, coast to coast in the U.S. Contact Reza Reza, Reza. I'm just going to put this in the chat, Wade, because you have enough shit going on right
I've got
now
the
with
link.
post.
I've got the link to the website there.
Yeah, and I'll put his email and all that stuff. So there we go. So big announcement as well. We have a new ongoing sponsor, and we're not going to take too much time. Well, we got to fill up this hour, Wade, so might as well fill up with talking about sponsors, right? Why not? No, we're just kidding. We're not going to do that. Maybe we'll do it. We'll see. So we have our ongoing sponsor, which is Shelf Made, and that's with Ashley Rogers, the CEO. And this is a really great network where it's all on their own exclusive platform on Shelf Made, not self-made, but shelf, get it? Shelfmade.com. And you can sign up and become a member, and you get access to resources, a chat center with all different founders and owners and VP and marketing people. And you also can get connected to resources that they offer as well. And they have professionals such as beverage professionals, logistics professionals, food professionals, one professional for each category, and you can access that. So there's a program, there is a cost to it. I know maybe there's plans to make that cost lower or, eliminate it and have some features in the future. But for now, to get the full access to Shelf Made, it's shelfmadecpg.com. That's the address. You go to shelfmadecpg.com and put in CPG Vibes as your discount code. And you get $100 off their annual membership. And you also get $100 off their quarterly Shelf Made membership. So that is a great deal, and it's a great resource, and they're growing quickly. One of the fastest growing CPG communities right now in the country. And if you're a founder in the CPG space looking for support strategy and a no BS roadmap to grow your brand, check out Shelf Made. It's a membership built for product-based entrepreneurs who are ready to scale. And again, $100 off CPG Vibes discount code, and there's a website there. So anyway, I tried to fit that in quickly to the 15 mark. Yeah, and then Wade, it's so funny, it's no script, just chat, but we got to get you on there, Wade. I'm on there, and I think you're next. You're the next member. So
I like it.
Yep, it's good stuff. And what would you consider yourself to be the expert of if you had to consolidate it?
Pretty much everything.
Everything. Well, that's a big statement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Professional wrestling. No.
You do look like a more seasoned Stone Cold. I'm using seasoned as a nice word.
Category management. It could be a number. Who knows?
Yeah. How about brand strategy, distribution strategy, packaging.
Like I said, pretty much
all that stuff. Everything. I can just it is everything. You're right. As I start rattling it off, it's a lot.
I'm a weight of all trades.
Yep. So anyway, so those are our sponsors, and now we're just getting into basically whatever we want to talk about. I want to kick it off with products that I've been consuming and having. I'll start there. And I also want to talk about, the acquisition with Poppy. They're calling it Popsy now, they're combining everything. But I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what that means for other, better for you sodas. But speaking of better for you sodas, this is a great product. This is a client of mine as well, Kif & Co. It's a fizzy probiotic drink, but with water kefir. Very, very low sugar. Water kefir is a different type of ingredient that is used, which is naturally fermented, so they don't add bubbles to it. And just has a ton of good bacteria in the billions. And it's brewed and canned literally right in Los Angeles, right? Actually, not far from me. So I don't think it's out there yet around the East Coast, Wade, right?
I don't believe so. I don't think I've seen it.
I know they're raising money on WeFunder. They have a campaign running, wefunder.com/KIF&Co, KIF and Co. And they're looking to expand nationally. And I don't know, what do you think of water kefir? Is it something you've been hearing more about through V-Driven? Is it something you're seeing more brands get into? I mean, what's your opinion with the probiotic thing?
I've definitely seen it. I think I saw it dating back to when I was still in California, but as far as widespread, again, I'm not seeing it that much over here yet, but I wouldn't expect to. If it's finally hitting its stride where you're at, it'll probably be 2026 or 7 or possibly 2028 before we see it over here. But Yeah, I mean it's an alternative kombucha, right? I mean
Hmm.
it's along the same mindset. It's just water as opposed to kombucha, right?
Yep, exactly.
Still has functionality and all those things.
100%. It's funny. As we're talking, it's funny, doesn't get more random than this, but they're doing maintenance on our building and they're frantically knocking at my door.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to answer it because my priority is this show and not a maintenance person outside my door. I can't just get up and leave, can I?
No, well, you can't. You just wait until you hear LAPD. Well, you're not in LA, but and then they come in. Then they come in. But
Then I would address it. Then I would
exactly,
definitely take the headphones off. It would be
exactly.
headphones off, cuffs on,
That's
basically,
right. Right.
at that point. So yeah, so I really like this product. They have a bunch of different flavors. They have a guava, passion fruit. They have a lemon ginger, which is one of my. I like the there's a berry one, a strawberry, I believe. But I got to get the flavors right. But it's very good. They got I think 4 SKUs, and they're coming out with more. So that's Kif and Co. So, and Caroline, if I made a mistake on the flavor names, I apologize, but make sure to invest in them on the WeFunder page. And I'm just highlighting other brands here. So, also, do you like this brand?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you know them? Do you know the founder at all?
I don't believe I know the founder. If I do, I'm sorry. Off the top of my head, I'm saying no.
Okay. Yeah, let me know if you do because I've been trying to get in touch with them to get them on the show. And so
Okay.
this is Kalina for those. We're acting like this is only live, like we are also recorded. It's like there this is the brand and people listening are like what fucking brand are you talking about? So Kalina, this is a plant-based yogurt and it has hand-shucked organic coconut, water, maple syrup, agar, which is a binder, but a natural binder, Madagascar bourbon, vanilla, and probiotic cultures. So, and the owner, she's actually on the side here, and I'm trying to remember her name. Erin. Her name is Erin. So, chief foodie and CEO. So, this is a really good product. And one other one I'm going to highlight here before we start going into anything else we want to talk about is Pop and Bottle. They're cold brew. They started in Southern California, even though they're based in the Bay Area. And it's amazing what they've done because they started. It's funny how you see brands evolve over time,
Hmm.
and they're like doing different things and they figure out what works and what doesn't work. And so, as a really good case study, Pop and Bottle started as an almond milk, we're a better for you almond milk that has dates in it to be sweetened instead of sugar, and we have different flavors, right? We have vanilla, we have chocolate, and then they had one that was coffee, right? Only one.
Hmm.
I remember talking with Jash and Blair when they first started way back in 2014 or 2015. I remember the conversation and where I was. And so they told me this idea, and they're like, oh, we have one coffee, coffee might be big and cold brew and all that. Fast forward, almost all their SKUs are energy based with coffee or matcha. So they abandoned the whole we're the first almond milk with no gums type thing and dates and no artificial sweeteners, no stevia, blah blah blah. And now they've converted all their SKUs to cold brew or coffee or matcha or tea. They have a Thai iced tea, which is phenomenal, by the way. It's phenomenal. So they learned over time that they had this one SKU outperforming the rest. They saw the coffee doing well. They see the categorical growth of cold brew. Also, one thing that they're focusing on is lattes. So they're focusing on the latte market because cold brew is really strong for some people, right? So
Right.
putting in almond milk or oat milk. So they basically are one of the first brands that I saw nationally, maybe besides Califia, that was putting in oat milk or almond milk to a cold brew, and they're one of the original ones to do that, Pop and Bottle. So I got this, from my local Whole Foods. It's the vanilla cold brew. It used to be just called vanilla, and then they added
Mhm.
cold brew in it based on demand. So it's really interesting how brands pivot as they get consumer feedback and they reposition it, and then they're more successful because they're listening to the customers.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It actually kind of brings up the conversation I had yesterday. We did one of our monthly master classes on branding and spoke to the folks at Fruition, which I put the link up in the chat, but I can't put it up on the screen because it's not popping up over here for whatever reason. But we talked about iteration and ideas. And one of the interesting things we talked about yesterday with regards to branding and packaging is when's the right time to pivot and rebrand or update packaging and things like that. It was a really good conversation. So if you're not joining the V Driven monthly masterclass, I'd suggest you do it, because we've had discussions about deduction management, we've branding, spend. We did one on Sprouts innovation. I mean, just a ton of free information that's once a month. And if you're interested in getting signed up for that, if you're not already, just the link for when we do those, let me know and I'll help you out with that. But good stuff. But Fruition, good people, very knowledgeable people. I spoke to Casey Harshman, who's their founder, and also
Yep.
Sarah Olney from his team. And he said, I think they said they worked with you. Or
Exactly. I
previously.
was about
Yep.
to say. So when our original packaging for Genius Juice, it wasn't upgraded for about 3 or 4 years. And I met Casey at BevNet, Casey Harshman, and they redid our packaging. And it was right after Shark Tank, actually. They redid our packaging, and that's when our sales went to its highest. Is like they just redid the head, they redid the logo, they redid the description on the front, and they did a great job. So
yeah, good team. And yes, Allison, I did say free. The V Driven master classes are free. We do them monthly. I think next week or next month we're gonna be talking about freight. Alex, I think you're gonna have to read this one because we're getting spammed in the chat. So I think you're gonna have to read this one because no one's gonna believe it if I say it.
All right. So Luke Abbott, who is we call him boss at this point of Wade, no partner with V Driven. He's a CEO.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Have you lost weight? This is Wade. This is Luke addressing Wade. Wade, have you lost weight?
Not yet.
Haven't seen you in a couple weeks. By the way, you are the smartest human being I know surrounding CPG. Wow.
Thank you, Luke.
So you're mentioning earlier, that you know everything. So I think that proves it right
it's
there.
A little bit of a stretch. A little bit of a stretch. Thanks, Luke. I might say that's the pot calling the kettle black. But Allison, I don't have a link, but what you want to do is go to vdriven.com, and there'll be a little pop-up that will come up that says join the community, and that's how you get the update when we're doing the master classes. It's we send out our newsletter and updates and blogs and all that stuff, and then also I post about it whenever we're getting close for the to promote the episode, and I know Luke does as well. So but make sure that you're signed up for that. And it was a great conversation, and just a lot of packaging. And I know we've got Jeff and who else is in here? Jeff's in here, and
Allison Clay.
From a standpoint of the branding side of things, just a wealth of information there. And I know I've seen Rich commenting in here, and I'm anxiously awaiting to see. I haven't been on LinkedIn much today. I've been busy with calls, but to see what the results of the Kelsey eye tracking thing. Did you see the post Rich had about that?
No, I didn't. What is it? What was it?
Well, I should have Rich tell us, but he had the Kelsey brothers, and one of the questions was which one. His eye tracking, which one people look,
the football
guys,
yes,
side by side, and then he also had, I think, 3 cereal brands, if I'm not mistaken, and wondering which one popped out first. So I haven't checked his post today to see if he's updated it. He was supposed to announce the results today, so that's great stuff.
Yeah, I want to. That's cool. I'll check it out. I want to revert back to the pivoting and also like what founders go through, when they're thinking of pivoting. I see like a big mistake that a lot of founders make is they hold on too tightly to something that they fell in love with early on. So they're like, this is the way that I need to do it because this is how I started it and this is what I believe in. And they kind of put blinders on to the world, on what people are telling them and what customers are telling them. And so like that's a real important thing is listen to the feedback. Like listen to the feedback, be open to feedback. I made a post, I think like a week ago, that the best founders are called open. I call them open founders. It's a new term that I guess created, or it's probably been out there. But I'll coin it for myself just out of greed. And where they're still they have conviction to move forward and do it how they envision it. But along the way, they're listening to advice and they're filtering in what makes sense and they're filtering out what doesn't make sense. But at least they're open. At least they're talking with people. At least they're listening. And I mean, I've seen crazy rebrands and pivoting on, one really great one is, Wild Chips, right? And Jason Pfeiffer, who when you were out one day, we had him step in as the co-host, and he's the editor in chief of Entrepreneur Magazine, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And so he was one of our bigger guests, and he was talking about how wild chips used to be called, it was called like chicken strips or chicken bites or chicken chips or something like that, or animal chips, and people just didn't respond to that, even though they were like, this is disruptive, this is different, no one else is doing this. And so they listened and they rebranded it as protein chips, right?
Right.
And instead of all these other weird words, and it really was more approachable to people. So that little tweak made an enormous difference. And then, Richard Moniz, I'm sure, is all over this topic, but have you seen the old Olipop can, what it used to look like? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, like if they never made that change, that pivot, and listened to people, they would have never been as big as they are right now. They would still probably be sizable, but the branding is just nailed. So I think like listening, being open, the more that founders are doing that, they're going to be more successful. And that's why we have advisors and people like Be Driven and other companies around us that give us direction on and guidance on where to go. So,
well, I use the analogy, and we talked about it yesterday on the masterclass. That no one likes being told their baby's ugly. To your point, that this is it's basically a child. A founder is a parent, and their brand is their child. And I also say no one likes being told that their kid's not going to play quarterback or he's going to be sitting on the bench. But we talked a little bit about feedback, and as you're getting feedback, and typically where there's smoke, where there's fire. But you always take with a grain of salt feedback, especially if you're talking about maybe a buyer from a couple stores here, a couple stores there. But if you start getting the same feedback, regardless of how many stores you time and time again, there's probably more to it to consider, and you have to move personal feelings aside. You have to, allow, we talk about at V Driven all the time, having humility, right? And being receptive to feedback, whether that's positive tension or just gently challenging each other with regards to work and just mindsets, right? And you have to have humility when you're a brand, because if you don't, just everything you touched on, right? You're not going to you're going to miss out, and potentially hurt yourself. Wild chips, I'm a huge fan of, and I don't know how they're doing right now. I know I can
really good.
Go to the store right next to me here at Lowe's Markets, which is conventional but a very upscale conventional. I love what they do there, and they have them there. So yeah, great brand. I really like that one.
Yeah,
Buffalo specifically, that's my favorite.
Yep. Yeah. So I can't say that I'm eating those, but I do respect the brand because I'm a vegetarian, but it's cool. Yeah. And I think like I've also heard of brands that, this is something on the exit side where, you want to, if you're positioning your product to be sold, kind of have a roadmap on how you want to get there, right? Not to get into detail about margin and all the financials and all the technicalities and all that kind of stuff, or the technical stuff, I should say. But I've seen brands where they had an opportunity to vertically integrate. They had an opportunity to sell a little bit earlier, and they passed up on it. And then they hit a major roadblock like a year later, and now they can't sell it, or it's too late, right? And so, like, I'm always a big fan of, selling at the high, not the high point, but selling at a point where you have some kind of position of strength versus holding out for better because of the industry. And again, this is kind of controversial. Some people will say, hold on to it and run it for another 2 years and try to grow it more. And maybe that's the answer for some brands. But I've heard too many stories. I won't say what brands, right? Just out of respect for them, where they were hot in like 2018, 2019, and then they hit a bunch of headwinds, and now they're struggling to stay in business, or they're out of business.
Right.
And models like Next and Natural, right, which we've spoken about before, where they do acquisitions, vertical integrations, whether it's, cash, or whether it's stock, or a combination thereof. I like those type of platforms. They just acquired Ouroboros. I think Ouroboros made the right move, where they were still in somewhat of a position of strength. They're in a lot of stores. The product's selling well. There's velocity. The brand is well respected. There wasn't any kind of recall or anything kind of weird like that. Like they, I think Paul, the owner, co-founder of Ouroboros, made a good choice to see his brand live on and also join Next and Natural. So if you're a founder, like, if you're at a certain point in your revenue and you're, starting to lose focus, or you're getting tired, or you're looking at other things you want to do with your life because it's very time intensive to run a brand, it might make sense to start looking early for vertical integrations or partners that can take your brand to the next level. And not to make this an advertisement for Next and Natural and Jeff Lichtenstein, but if you Google them and see their model, they have resources where they can get it at a much lower cost than if you did it yourself. And you can grow your brand more. You can add more contribution margin, and you can see your brand in more stores. And even though you're getting less of the pie, the brand is going to grow way bigger than if you did it yourself. And I think like the environment right now, we talked about, again, I'm not going to beat that dead horse, but the environment is so hard that for certain brands, especially a lot of brands, some brands I see at Expo West, that they are one huge speed bump away or one headwind away of really compromising their business or being out of business, right? If a production goes wrong, or if a big retail launch doesn't go the way they want it to go, and then, or their cash flow, they're spending more money than they thought they were spending. Now they're scrambling. And I think like a lot of brands are dangerously on the edge. So if you see a good partnership and they're interested in you and you can work with them and you like them, I would say go for it in this environment, as long as there's some benefit to you, obviously. But that's
Yeah.
what do you think
Well,
about acquisitions and mergers and what's going on right now in the space?
yeah. Well, I know we work with a company that plays in vegan, vegetarian. It's probably a little bit of both. I don't want to misspeak. Space that does very similar to what Next and Natural does. And it's exactly what you said. It's a chance to keep your brand alive and to get out from the situation you may be in, whether it's financial, whether it's exhaustion, regardless what the case may be. And what Next and Natural and the team there is doing is pretty phenomenal. I know I've spoke to that team and some of the brands involved several times. I like the model. It makes sense. You have a team of with resources behind it that can help and support and keep things moving forward. So I think it's good stuff.
Yeah. I think it's something you want to be open to. I keep on using the word open. That one thing that founders, being a founder for 11 years, you need to look at your situation holistically, right? You need to look at the fact that, how is this affecting my health, my family, my pocketbook, potential income that I could be earning by doing something else or joining a larger company that grabs the brand, and now you're working with them, even though you have a boss now. At least you're getting paid better and you have more freedom to take care of yourself and spend time with people you love more. And that's something that I discovered after shutting down Genius Juice in 2024, that even though I'm still busy and I'm working with clients, my quality of life has gotten better, right? Even though I loved what I did for 10 years and I loved it in that moment, but I was at a time in my life, late 30s at that point, or early 40s, and having had a child in 2022. And I'm like, I just want to spend more time with him and not be completely exhausted when I come home or burned out. I want to live a higher quality of life and spend more time with the people I love, because you're not going to get that time back, as cliched as that sounds, especially if you have a young child.
Right.
So like, I see it from the brand's perspective and the owner's perspective on how hard it is getting hit from all angles, inflation, cost, distribution, pressure from investors, if you have investors, production, packaging, surviving on shelf, thriving on shelf. So I relate to them, and it could really affect your quality of life if you're not careful. And if you want to go fast, you can do it on your own. If you want to go far, you have to have the right team in place. And I think you need to really emphasize, founders need to emphasize putting a great team around them they can lean into, so they can grow their brand without being totally burnt out, right? Because burnout is real, as we talked about. So
right. There's a comment for you from Curtis.
Let's see. Making cute babies, CPG. Yep.
Greater than CPG.
Yep.
Yeah.
Greater than.
Yeah.
So, and we need a CPG retreat. That's Allison Clay. And then Allison Clay
isn't
that
what Expo was?
Yeah, right. I wouldn't call it a retreat. I would call it mayhem, CPG mayhem.
Good point. You need a retreat after the mayhem. Good point.
Exactly. And there's Florida Fest 2026. So I wanted to pivot, and Curtis, thank you for posting about us doing our little review on Lemonicious and saying that we basically both, out of all the products we tried at Expo West, yours we thought was the best. Like, we liked it a lot, and it really stood out to us. And Curtis gave me the whatever it's called, the quart
Right.
of the lemon blossom. Down that whole thing, phenomenal. It's phenomenal,
Nice.
you know. And lucky for me, I live locally, so I didn't have to go on a plane with it. I just took it right home and drank it. What do you think about this whole thing with Mark? This Mark Snacks
I'm
announcement.
I'm intrigued. I know I signed up to get more information.
Same here.
I'm not 100% clear on the status of I1. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was a licensing piece or something, right, with a probably is a company similar to Next and Natural or something like that. I know there's something there as far as that goes, but I not knowing what the status of that is made me even more curious about the new project, because I'm wondering about not necessarily conflict of interest, but I'm wondering about competitiveness. What else? What's the word I'm looking for? I should non-compete and things like that. So I'm just not clear about where his old brand was and the ramifications, if there are any. I'm sure there's not. Mark's a smart guy with the new project. So I don't know. Maybe you have some insight.
I do. I'm actually going to be texting Mark right now,
Okay.
and I'm going to say, "Come on, CPG Vibes. We are live. We can get you on since people are asking about Mark's snacks." When I say,
And
and
I was going to say,
people, that's us.
and Robert brought this up too. And what about Unbun?
And what about Unbun? So
Yes.
yeah. So I just texted him. We'll see. I mean, might be in the middle of a shirtless workout right now. We don't know.
Well, that wouldn't
But
stop him from coming on the show. He could
that's
work
true.
out and talk at the same time, right?
Yeah, chew gum and walk. Yeah, he can do that. I don't want to speak on his behalf, but I know that there's whatever the public information is, that there's a licensing deal. I Want Organics is still alive and kicking, and the product has been licensed to someone else. And I don't know what Mark's involvement there is, but he can speak more on that. Unbun, I have no idea. And he said, haha, send link. So,
Oh boy.
yeah, we'll bring him on for a couple minutes. Get him
gonna-
on the next episode. Seriously.
You have it? Are you sending it to him, or?
I'll send it. Yeah. So it'll be quick to see what he says, because we have guests lined up for the next several episodes. So I don't think we're ever going to get him on, not for a while, and have him talk about it for a couple minutes so he can answer that question. Don't worry, Robert. It won't be for that long. It's all good. So, because I know we have our sponsors we need to mention and all that good stuff. So let me send the link.
You're right. We have like 2 or 3, 4 back to back.
Yeah. So like the next time we can get anyone on to even explain this as a guest, it's going to be a while.
Yeah. Several weeks.
Yeah. But I'm going to preface it that Mark Samuel, which email do I use? Do I use Feel Good Cold Plunge or Unbun or I1 or hold on, which one? Let's see. Okay. All right. I just texted him that it's only. So we'll get him on.
Be out of time.
And we're under a time constraint. So, all right. So yeah, I don't know, but I think I'm intrigued because he's going out on his own, and it's a brand that's named after him, obviously. And I don't know what the product is. Do you know what it is? I don't even know what it is.
Some kind of snack, which could be salty, it could be sweet, could be a combination. No clue.
Yeah,
no clue.
So good stuff. While we're waiting for him,
it's like
let's mention
it's like a cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I could see Mark being in Cliffhanger Part 2.
There he is.
The new Sylvester Stallone. Or did we get him?
Hold on. He's in the bottom.
Okay. We're going to get him on in a minute. Before we do, I just want to mention our sponsors real quick. I'm having trouble finding the. There it is. There's a screen. So Mark, we're going to get you on. Give us a minute. So our sponsors for this episode, we have Powerful Energy Distribution, and we also have Shelf Made. And then PFE partner is Darwin Fulfillment, and they help businesses scale and compete with the big guys, get access to high volume shipping rates using their warehouses. They have warehouses in Canada, they have warehouses in the US, and that is Darwin, Darwynn. And then our other sponsor is Shelf Made. Code CPG Vibes to save $100 off their community platform. It's an incredible platform. Professionals in every single category. You can get help, you can get guidance. There's webinars every week, and it's all online within their own system on shelfmade.com. Again, enter CPG Vibes discount code for $100 off. All right, so Mark, 3 minutes here. We're going to get you on. It's on a. So hey, Mark, it's a tight timer, 3 minutes, but people are asking, what is going on? Tell us anything you want to tell us, whatever you can share.
Well, what's going on is I'm taking a nice afternoon walk in this beautiful Northern California weather here, getting sun on my face, living a healthy lifestyle.
Love it. That's first. That's priority.
That's first.
You look happy. You look happy.
Very good. A lot of just feel light as a feather.
Good. All right. So tell us. People are asking in the chat. Mark Snacks. What is it about?
MarkSnacks.com. They get it put in the email. I'm going to update everybody over the next 6-8 weeks. Prepare for hopefully a launch midsummer. And that's it. I'm working on something that's very personal. It's going to be super fun. I'm excited, as I've been excited about other things that I've done in the past. But this one is definitely like my true baby. So I think it'll just be more interesting, and I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. Anything else you want to share?
I don't think so.
Cool.
Cliffhanger.
Right. Cliffhanger. All right.
That's it.
So that's it. That's it.
How are you guys? How are you guys doing?
Great.
We are good.
You're doing great?
It's a random discussion thing. You know, we have no topics. We're trying something new, and I'm going to go for a nice, beautiful walk right after this. I'm inspired by what you're doing. So there you go.
Attaboy. You guys enjoy the day. I appreciate it.
Thanks. You
Thanks,
too.
man. Thanks for popping in. Bye, Mark. All right. So what else we have about? By the way, that what he talked about didn't answer too much, but we got to see his face and we got to see him walk. So that was the takeaway from that. So we'll see what happens. So there's some. So we have some comments here. Do you want to shout out some comments, and we'll go to our last non-planned topic?
Well, Robert wants a tariff from Mark. So it was relatively quick. So maybe 20% tariff. We'll give him a discount.
Yeah, a little discount for it. Yeah. So it was a per minute tariff, and getting dizzy watching this. They're great friends, you can tell.
Yeah.
So, and then Jeff Likovsky, how's the Subaru? Allison Marcus classic at building suspense. Yeah, I'm curious. So we'll see what happens. I'm wondering what the product is. That's what I'm really curious about. So, what else do you want to talk about? Because we have a few minutes here. We have 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm putting it on you, the pressure.
Putting it on me. Well, let's see. We are in about 9 days. We will be done with the first quarter of 2025. I'd like to know, what from those watching, listening, what have you right now. How has 2025 been thus far? Relative. We don't need to get into politics. I'm not soliciting for that. I'm asking about the outlook, CPG in general. Whether you're a brand, whether you're a service provider, distributor in some cases. Robert, I'm looking at you. Kenny's here. Buyers. How has 2025 been? That's actually something I'm really interested in. If there's people open to sharing, and I'm kind of pointing my finger at Kenny here with regards to the outlook of the retail environment, because being removed from it, in the format that I am now, I'm curious how the year's been thus far, and looking ahead. What's the outlook as we look at Q2, Q3, and 4?
Yeah, so that's a question for the audience, for the community, right?
That's right.
All right, cool. And I just sent Curtis the link. So get Curtis on for a couple minutes.
Derek says demos are popping off, and Derek, I think that's a good point, because that's something we're talking a lot about with our brands. And there, first of all, I mean, demos are a no brainer. We had a couple rough years with COVID, people waiting to come back from COVID, but there's nothing beats putting something in someone's hands and mouths, right, and getting to taste the product. You live and die by the taste, and I'm not surprised to hear that at all. I know there were some people really slow to come back with demos, and just it took so much to get to shut them down with COVID, and then once some of the restrictions, and obviously you had some states that drug their feet, and all the legalities involved, but once they started to come back, speaking of my previous role, I know it was a hard time getting started back up, so I'm not surprised to see that at all. So Kenny says, overall, it's been a great year for us so far. We had a banner year. It feels so good to carry that momentum through this year. Natural retail, I feel, is in a position to win. Again, I'm not surprised by that either, just because everything we're seeing and hearing. Sarah says, "Hi, Sarah. Joining late. Things feel really good right now. This journey does not have to be hard for everyone. Every day is a new opportunity to learn and improve. I'm incredibly hopeful and grounded with a realistic strategy. We have so many channels to work in. It's a matter of focus, mindset, and effective partnerships." Well said. Well said, Sarah.
Love it.
Got a good comment from Jeff, too. Lots of momentum Q1. This is a service provider, brand Arctica. Q1 for sure in terms of brands looking to invest in their marketing. Last quarter was horrible overall for marketing agencies. Well, it's good to see things turning around. I think that's a good outlook. I see Joseph is planning on exhibiting at the summer especially food show. I'm assuming he's talking about fancy food. Consumers are looking for clean, nutrient dense food, wellness products, which is this especially important in the GLP-1 environment we're in. And of course, Robert, tariff apocalypse. Well, yeah, if it's tough. I'm sure
he's feeling it. He's feeling it more than others, because I mean, he is in the thick of it with Canada and the U.S., right? I mean, he's bringing products both ways. So.
Did you send another link here that
I did.
Forgot? Okay,
I did.
Okay.
So, again, no script, just chat. I'm just absolutely in love with his drinks. We're going to bring him on for a couple minutes. He's grinning from ear to ear already. So he's the co-founder of Lemonicious. He blew up Expo West. He was passing out bottles left and right, over aisles and over people's heads. Curtis Knight, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Curtis?
I hope I don't have no feedback, right?
Nope, sound good. You sound good.
Great.
Right,
Sounds
awesome.
like you've done podcasts before.
Yeah, this is the first time. I mean, thank you for having me. Before I get started, I want to give special love and care to all our Canadian friends out there, because despite what's going on around in the world of politics, Americans love you.
Thank you.
And there's several Canadians with us now, Robert and Richard, and probably missing a few other ones in there too.
Yep. Good stuff. Well, thank you for mentioning that. So how was tell us about Expo? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say eventually, hopefully one day you will see Eliminations in Canada. I'm looking forward to it.
100%. Well,
I know who can help you with that. Can help you with that.
Our sponsor, and he's the man to do that for sure. So, and he said also earlier, there's a couple more brands he's launching. So he's hot on it. U.S. products, bringing them to Canada. So you said something about a new, like a snack or something that you can eat.
Oh no, I was kind of joking. I mean,
you're joking.
To be honest, it is kind of in the back of my mind. I think our whole message about using real fruit in our drinks definitely translates into gummies in the candy sector. So maybe in the future, I don't want to tip off too much, but yeah, I think that's something that I would be interested in the future for sure.
There's something I'll mention about, your product, and I've said it many times, but I'll say it again, and then I'll ask you, the flavor, getting into the cold pressed juice category is hard. It's been happening for 15 years now, and there's Suja and all these big brands. But when you were thinking about getting in the space, you were like, we're going to do something different. We're going to do something fun. I didn't believe you that it was going to be really any different from anyone else until I tried it. There's something about your product, and I can't put my finger on it. I mean, it tastes delicious, but there's an energy, there's an aura around it that when I have it, I love it. And I was carrying it around, that big bottle you gave me at Expo. I was carrying that around with me on the road for a day, and I went through the entire thing. So there's something special here, and I love it. And you know, at Expo, seeing people in person, you got that same kind of love and feedback, or what did you hear at Expo when you were passing
Yeah.
out all these drinks?
And so when I talk about it, and when I talked to you, when we had that one-on-one a while ago now, and I was, I was talking highly about the product, and I'm sure you were thinking, yeah, everyone thinks their product is the best thing since sliced bread, right? So for me, and I've said this before, is that we're at farmers markets, and we're every single weekend, right? We just hired our 5th employee this past week, so we're doing anywhere from 4 to 8 different farmers markets a week. So we're used to seeing that. We see that everywhere we go from all throughout Florida. So it's not so it's what I expected. I expected to go to Expo. I expected people to have the same reaction. As long as you have taste buds, like, and you like good taste, because our number one focus, and we're a little bit different than a cold pressed juice. We're a little bit different than a lemonade. We're kind of somewhere just in between, and just kind of our own category. And so this is something different people aren't had before. So the number one thing we always hear is, I've never had anything like this before. So I expected to get the same reaction, and that's pretty much what we got.
Yep. Yeah, and it's the Turkish super fruits in there. It's the taste profile. It's well formulated and it's healthy. So there you go. Anything else you want to mention? We're gonna move on to our sponsorship prize, but anything else? Last word.
Well, Derek does want you to talk about Hundy. He said, "Talk about
what's
Hundy. Just
Hundy?
got some."
I just sent out the prize to you guys, to whoever the winner. We shipped that out. That was Derek, right? I believe.
Oh no, he's saying talk about Hundy. I thought maybe that was some kind of something we didn't know about.
Oh,
Hundy.
no.
Is that a miss, like a typo or something?
All right, Derek, you're gonna have to.
I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm not realizing.
Cool.
But yeah, we sent our prize out. They actually got better than what I thought. They got 32. They got the big ones. They got 6 of those. So it'll be enough lemonades for the whole family and then some.
Awesome. So it looks like Robert has taken the liberty of designating a prize change to a lemonicious case.
What? We just sit down a game. Man, you're gonna bankrupt me, Robert. What's going on, man?
Yeah, seriously. All right, so I'm taking that as we're just going to stick with our original prize then. Because you just did it. You just did it. So
listen. No, we can't. We're fine with that. This prize will be sponsored by Robert. So yes, we will send out.
There you go. Okay,
a Robert sponsored case to a lucky winner today.
As long as we have your approval. All right. So there's going to be 2. Curtis, good seeing you, my man. Take good care.
I appreciate it.
I'm waiting for that. I was going to say, Curtis, I'm waiting for that new bag, that lemonicious bag that he was carrying around at Expo West. That looked really nice. I think it was leather or something. So anyway, he said he would send one out to me. Hopefully he does. So, all right, we're going to have 2. And let's go into that because we are at the 55 mark. There are a lot of comments here. All right.
A
lot of stuff going on. I love it. A little bit of drama, a lot of back and forth. It makes it a really great show. It's entertaining, to say the least. One thing we want to mention also for next week. So we are working on getting some guests for next week. So far, we have confirmed it's going to be the Expert Series Volume 10 brand spotlight.
Should we wait? Are we plugging? Do we have anybody confirmed yet?
Yeah, so I have 1 confirmed, and there's 2 that we're waiting on, and likely they're going to confirm at least one of the 2. We're just going to have 2 brands on. So we're going to have Nellie's Organic. That's Carla's brand, Spirapolo. That's her last name. I love Nellie's. They're chocolate bars. They're refrigerated chocolate bars right next to the Perfect Bars and the Midday Squares. But she's one of the OGs. She's been doing it for over 10 years, self-manufacturing, based in Los Angeles. Yeah, you've had this bar, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which one do you like the most?
There's a chocolate peanut butter one, isn't there?
There's a chocolate peanut butter nougat. Nougat.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, they're all chocolate covered. There's a coconut. There's an almond crunch, which is my favorite.
Yeah,
my favorite.
Peanut.
Peanut. Got it.
Yep.
All right. Cool. So she's going to be on, and then we're waiting on other brands. And by the way, if you'd like to apply to be on next week's show, because we had someone that had to drop out, they had a conflict that came up, email cpgvibes100@gmail.com. We're looking for more, let's call it, in the millions of revenue or more. a brand that's been around for 6-7 years that can talk about their history, talk about their experience. So if you qualify for that, million and up in revenue and been around for 5 years plus, make sure to apply cpgvibes100@gmail.com. After that, we're having another expert series, CPG Shutdown. We're going to talk about that. And then we have the Canadian show, which is on April 11th. And Robert is joining us for that and sponsoring the episode. And then we have a master series after that on VC and private equity investments with Next and Natural and Michael Bush. So we have a plethora of stuff, battery of stuff coming up in the next month or so. It's going to be exciting. So I'm excited. So with all that said, the prize. So okay, we're going to get this straight because
it looks to me like
all this shit's going let's get it straight. What's going on here?
I think the prize has been updated. I'm guessing, Robert, and we're sending a case of Lemonicious.
Yes,
that's to the winner. That's the way I understand it.
So 2 prizes means Curtis is sending today single prize on top of the other one he sent from a few weeks ago. Okay. All right. So with all that said, Robert, the Canadian mystery box, is that for another week? Let us know. That's where I'm confused. Or do you want to just do one today? Make it simple.
What I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. I don't even know what to do. Yeah. All right. So let's do our prize. And then Robert, you can advise us if you want to do the second prize. Yeah. So, or we can save that for another episode. So with all that said, what is the question? Because I'm thinking of one. It's harder when it's random because we talked about
a lot.
20 different things.
We covered a lot of real estate today.
All right. He says yes. So we'll do 2.
Yes.
How about this? I got one. This one's easy.
So we're going to do the first 2 that answer correctly, right? It's one or no?
Let's do 2 different questions just to kind of keep people on their feet a little more. And that means you're going to have to scramble and find one while I'm doing it.
All right.
Yeah. You're like, shit, I got to find something I'm going to go to Chat GPT now.
I was going to say I should have been running a transcript on today.
Yeah. So what yogurt did I show? What brand? I'm making an easy clue. It's a yogurt and it's natural. How did Mark describe how he's doing?
Let's see. Okay, so your question was the yogurt.
And that's going to be, they can pick what prize. And now Robert's saying 1 prize for the show. Okay, so that's the prize.
Good. That's it.
So keeps it simple. So what yogurt did I show?
I know the answer to that.
Let's see who gets it. It's easy.
We didn't put the link in, so someone's gonna have to be paying attention.
Were you guys paying attention?
Curtis can't win his own prize, but it's not Chobani. There it is, Dan Barnes.
Yep, he's won before. So it's Kalina. Kalina is the answer. That's what I showed earlier.
Jeff just missed it. Sorry, Jeff.
Just missed it. Go-Gurt 100%. Yeah, that stuff's very healthy. So, all right. So that is our show. And then again, next week is going to be our brand spotlight expert series. Yeah, I think it got very random, but I think it went actually really well. And we're going to do it again. We had some good viewership here and a lot of engagement. So yeah, you feel like doing another one?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll show up here next Friday. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's random enough. So, all right. So thank you everyone for a wonderful show. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for the engagement. And we will see you next week, Friday, 12 o'clock, 3 p.m. Eastern. And again, thank you to our sponsors. We have our episode sponsor, which is Robert Kogan with Powerful Energy Distribution. And he is sponsoring today's episode with Darwin Fulfillment. And they help businesses scale and compete with the big guys for logistics and warehousing. And then also Shelf Made. And you can use the coupon code, which is CPG Vibes. If you want to join them, you get $100 off your quarterly or annual expense. So thank you, everyone. Wade, take care, buddy.
Take care.
And we will see you all next week.